All right, folks, welcome back for another episode. I wanted to welcome my next guest. He is a producer who moves with intention and lets the music speak loud. He is known for crafting gritty, textured soundscapes that sit right in the pocket of hip hop. Cee Gee has been steadily building a name through consistency and ear for detail. He has production credit with Westside Gunn, Benny the Butcher, Planet Asia, to name a few. That has placed him firmly in the lineage of producers who understand raw energy and mood. Today, we're tapping in to talk about his story and the creative process that goes along with it. I wanted to welcome Cee Gee to the show. What's good? How are you?
Doing great. Only 9 days to the New Year's, and after the New Year's.
I know, and man, dude, you're busy. You're doing the 10 beats challenge, 10 beats a day for 30 days man, almost 90 days into the new year. That's quite impressive.
Make that even though this month is 31 days.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true. So you got 10 extra.
yeah, so,
Okay.
yes, yeah, you can say that though.
Yeah, well, hey man, that's great, man. I love it when folks are prolific and mad, just mad productive. So that is you indeed. I'm curious, you mentioned in a previous interview that you did this challenge because this was something that Westside Gunn had asked you to do a couple years ago. Can you tell me about that? And then what motivated you to do that and challenge yourself again?
So like a couple of years ago, I was with Wes when Conway had the drum fest in my city. He invited me, and I was rolling with him to spend all night, just kicking it and then vibing. He gave me this idea that I had to send 10 beats for 30 days. Now keep in mind, this is around the time that Wes had to get ready to put out the and then you play for me.
Okay.
Yeah, that was around that time in which I didn't have nothing to do with that project. And then
Huh.
I was around it at the promotion along that side, and then I was still making it and sending it around at the same time. I had the folders and all, and then I was organizing it, and then I did that for 30 days. I kind of kept this challenging going by almost a year ago. I was making 10 beats a
Okay.
day just for a week. And this was like March 25. This was like beginning of the month. That was at the time that West was in town, and I was making 10 beats a day just for a whole week. And those beats that you hear that leads up to the Hills Have Eyes trilogies.
Ooh, yeah.
And
Oh,
then
oh, yeah.
one of them, like Einstein Kitchen,
Yeah.
Egypt,
Oh,
and Free Rolly, that was
ooh,
all done in 1 week.
Egypt. Oh, man.
And a week later, a Mirror Kitchen and Hillsina was all done in one day.
Yo, Helsina, sick. Oh man. Well, hey, let me ask you this. When do you find out West Side Gun uses your beat? Do you find out after the album's put out, or do you find out after he records a draft of the song? When do you find out?
Well, let's go far back. So the first time people heard of me was Broadway Joe's, the
Yeah,
song.
okay.
Yeah, and then off the part seven, the Hermes 7 on 2019.
Okay.
Around that time that I've already knew them almost 5 years prior.
Okay.
And then I was around, but I haven't done any production for them yet because I was still brand new to the scene.
Yeah.
And then once after I was get my foundation going, and then there was already have a name in themselves. And then my homegirl just suggested me that I should I do something for West, Conway, or Benny. And then I decided to go with West, and then the rest is history. And
Wow.
well, originally that he emailed me
Okay.
that joint. By the way, I was in the middle of playing my game,
Yeah.
yeah, because
Like, oh.
yeah, I was middle of playing my game, and like I just left it alone, and then
Yeah.
when I heard the song, that was the day that he got his own, that the mayor at the time got his own day in Buffalo. I was around that day too,
Oh
and then
man.
I heard the song, and no one knows I had to work with him yet.
Oh
No
man.
one knows. And I surprised, and that was the first breakout record. And then fast forward, and since me and Wes were, we started to, he'd been texting me every now and then. And, he let me know like prior to that. And the thing is that I gotta make 10 beats a day because I had to be prepared. So I be prepared so I could like know what ears that might be good for him, or sometimes that
Yeah.
like whether it's for him or the other artists that he curates.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's interesting because I know you work a lot with West Side Gun. You still got, you got some tracks with Benny the Butcher too. Free Rollies. was one of my favorites too. And oh man, and then
They didn't even know that was disrespectful too.
yeah, yeah, and then the surprise. When did you find out Doechii was on the Egypt remix too? That had to be exciting as well.
Well, it was started off as a sample. Yeah, when her voice got
The beginning, right?
yeah, the voice got at the beginning, and then a couple of days later, her reaction got
Oh, she loved her where she talks about Westside Gunn and MF
yeah.
Doom. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
dope.
yeah. Her reaction got the attention, and then a
They
week later, the
yeah.
remix it just came out.
Dude, what an awesome surprise. So you talking about like the song made it on streaming platforms and just all over the place and she heard it and she was like, I'm gonna get on this and she loved it and then a remix.
I don't know the process. I never know.
Okay.
I didn't know the process because by that time I was more focused on getting my album.
Working on your
Uh, uh,
stuff.
yeah, I was working getting my album, and also it was around my birthday time too because May
Ah,
20th is my birthday.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, hey man, I know I jumped a little bit. Usually when I interview folks, I love talking about just the beginnings of where they started. And would you mind just sharing with me? Tell me where you were born, where you grew up, and where home is today.
Born and raised in Buffalo, New York, and
Okay.
still there to this day.
Awesome, man. And I'm a Cali guy, so I'm not, I didn't grow up in New York, but I'm interested in just you sharing what the hip hop scene was like in Buffalo. Always interested in just the different pockets of hip hop all over the world. What was it like? What was your exposure to rap music when you were young? And do you remember that earliest encounter?
Oh man, born in 1990. That was when the culture was starting. Because we was just coming off from the 80s golden era,
Yeah.
and then 90 was started jumping, and that's where I was kind of born. And then I
Mhm.
got glued to this culture until when I was a kid. Because at the time, the only thing is that whether you watch the music videos, going through your folks' collections, and read magazine, to find out what was coming out. That was the outlets of me getting attention. Because originally, I wanted to be a DJ.
Yeah, okay. And I understand that you do it. I know you DJ'd for Genesis for Art of Soul, or you have that coming up in February. So did you start as a DJ or?
Well, at the time, that was my plan to be a DJ.
Yeah, right.
Well, that was my plan to be a DJ when I was a kid, because at the
Okay.
time, cause DJ culture was still huge, and I didn't really know much about producing wise. A lot of my favorite producers started as a DJ, and
Yeah.
then I didn't have any ways that I can make my own tracks, and then by the time I got in my teenage years, that was when I got started to pay attention to the sound. And then, I got addicted to the sound. And then this is the time that I got listening to the CD player and then jumping into the MP3s. And then I just paying attention to the ears of the sound. This is around the time that Little Brother and then Kanye West and MF Doom was like,
Doing their thing.
yeah, that
Common.
was
Yeah.
well, around that time, me getting into the underground. Well, you could say the underground hip hop was my glue to the next rap culture in 2000s. Even though the 90s, it was definitely the glue where the sound was. Well, I was starting listening like Little Brother, like I mentioned before. That kind of got me like wanting to making beats, but then I didn't have any ways that I can how to get all the stuff. This is before I learned how to the NPCs, all the
Yeah.
stuff. And then fast forward to like 2009, I had a cousin. He was already establishment at the time. He had a studio at his uncle basement, and then this is around the time that I was coming off from my grieving with my fat passing my dad. By that time, this was like 2008, going 2009. And then when he that one day that he showed me, I picked up this one record that for me to sample, and then he showed me how to. He had those ASR,
Yeah.
yeah, the way that how you triggered it, and once I got graphic, and then I made one beat, and then rest is history.
Yeah. What led to you using Cee Gee as your producer name? Did you have a different name when you first started out, or what? How'd you get to Cee Gee?
Well, my full name is Columbus Green. Cee Gee was like my mom named me that when I was a
Oh,
kid.
okay.
Cause most of my family, like we had nicknames. And then also, I was named after my late grandfather, who was my late dad's father, and I had an uncle who I was named after, who had the same name too.
Ah, gotcha.
My first name and my middle name, which is Isaiah, is I was named after my two grandfathers,
Okay.
which is Columbus, which is my dad's father, and Isaiah is my mom's father. What Cee Gee is that, like, I just kind of keep it a little simple, and then I added incorporated because, like, for people who can find me, couldn't even know there's a lot of other Cee Gee, but in order that it can, people can search me or book me in a while, I just added incorporated because, like, a simple way to find me.
No, I like that, man. Yeah, I'm always curious about, people's story in terms of how they get to their name. I know me, I changed my MC name like tons of times. So it's always a great story to hear. What about before rap and hip hop? What is your earliest memory of music in general? What was your family? What were your friends? What were your parents playing when you were young?
Well, my dad was well, he did play the drummer.
Oh man, okay.
Yeah. He did talk to a drummer for a bit, and then of course, like, he got into like videography.
Okay.
Yeah, because yeah, he got into the videography, but I'm talking about the real video camera. Like, I can't recall what the name it was back then, because I gotta look it up.
Yeah, yeah.
I know what it is, but my younger brother, who was kind of follow his footsteps. So he does like a videographer, but then also he used to have his own public broadcast show in my city called Buffalo Talent Showcase. Because, at the time, Showtime as Apollo was like was a huge at the time.
I used to love that show, man.
Yeah,
That was
it was huge
fun.
at the time. But it was more like a the local thing. So what he would do is that he record his intros or outros, like in my the house that I used to stay, and then he would use the record and he recorded like people performing or dancing. I don't know. I mean, I gotta look at the old tapes to see. And then I got a brother, my older brother, that he was like around during the height my early music trajectory. It was this group called Off the Block, this local group Off the Block, which my brother was managing at the time.
Okay.
It was originally a 4-man group, because this
Okay.
is like the height, this is like the height of an R&B
Yeah, the
groups,
group.
like
Yeah, yeah. That was like
uh,
the Boys to Men, the Magic.
yeah.
Still.
Well, you got that, because this is like the mid '90s.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah, because
standard number.
this is like a mid '90s, around at that time. It was a 4-man, and then around that time that my brother took a little hiatus for a bit, and then when he came home, it rounded down to the 2-man group, and then it did last a little while, and then both went separate ways before the one of them passed away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, one of them passed away. And around that time, that's how I got into like the Buff City, which is like the late great DJ Shay, which I had my first encounter. I ended up working with him a little bit
Oh,
later
wow.
on.
Nice.
I did have a little bit early music trajectory around my city, but once I started got in, like, because after I made my first beat, I didn't really jump into, like, let's say that I want them to hear what I got. And keep in mind, like, we were still in the blog era,
Yeah.
and the music was very different, and then it wasn't like about that time, because this was still ringtone era, and then
Yeah.
yeah, which that was my least, yeah, because it was my least favorite era, huh? Even though it was my teenage
Yeah.
time, but then those artists that I mentioned, that was like my peers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like my peers that I was like, I got my trajectory. I was to it when I came home. Like, I didn't have no machine. I didn't have no anything that because I wanted kept going. And then fast forward when I got a job, and then I had one of my first check that I bought this software that you can create your own beat, which I still had that software to this day, but I use it for something else. But that's how I use that how I correct beats. This is before I have an MPC.
Oh man, dude, that's fascinating. Yeah, and also too, I'm curious the creative process in general. Are you driven by the drums first or the sample itself? What I guess it could be just depending on the way you're feeling, but like I guess what do you tend to do when you create a beat? Are you driven by getting the sample down first or is it the
Um,
drums?
it got to be like the sample first.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got to
Yeah.
be the sample first. because like because like I got like because once I'm listening to it, it's like I got it from there, and then
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I got it from there. And it's like it's like I know what to do, and then it's like and then the drums too. And
Okay.
then like and then I add it with the drums too. And then like sometimes that whether I want the drums or I don't want the drums.
Yeah, and just keep playing with it, I guess, huh?
Yep.
Yeah. Do you actually play drums like your dad too, or you can finger drumming real good from the
Um,
MPC?
not professionally because
Okay.
I was playing around because the school I
Yeah.
used to go to I had the school I used to go to we had a music class.
Okay.
There is a picture that I got and I'm gonna use it as my back cover for for this new album I'm working on. It's a real picture of me playing the drums as like as a young kid
Yeah.
while
That's
I'm in
awesome.
school. Yeah, so I'm gonna use as a back cover because like that kind of shows how long
Yeah.
and that's all. That was like kind of my only pictures I had. Me with the the one of them that I had as a kid as an instrument.
Yeah. That foreshadowing that you were going to be doing it when you were older. That's so cool. Yeah. Did you guys have a drum set in the house too when your dad was playing?
No, this is before I was exist. Well, around I think like I can't recall like that the age wise, because this is before like I came because by the time I came in this earth, he was already in videography. Me and my brother, which were 1 year apart, we was around like once he got his local TV show access.
Yeah, and so eventually you enter the music scene and you start making music after just being exposed to it. And so were you a producer that was solo first, or did Beats Arts Rhythm Association come first? What was it like? Were you running solo first, and did the group thing come afterwards?
When I got into the scene, I was in this group called Supreme Black Aces, which is my MC. His name is Scrap, but his real name is Jarrell.
Okay.
So me and him, we met 2009. This is the same year that I got started to make my first beat. And also, we both talk about hip hop because he was already there when I got started. Because my best friend who I went to school with, who I went to school with, he was already there.
Mm.
I was there because of from my previous school, and then like my other classmates came along for no reason. And then and me and him we started like clicked up, and then we would just talk about like hip hop because the thing with him is that he's more than MC wise.
Okay.
And then he was more than MC wise, and then like because by that time like I said, this was still the ringtone era, and
Yeah. Yeah.
it was still the ringtone era, and then me and him was like the same page
Mm.
when it comes like the real hip hop.
That
Like
golden age sound. Yeah.
yeah, and then yeah, so we was already like tapping it in, and then
Okay.
and also he the one that kind of told me about Benny and Conway like
Oh.
early on.
Oh, the Griselda stuff. Oh, he
Well,
introduced
yeah,
you.
this is before
Oh, before they
Griselda.
were a group.
Well, there was already so by that time like there was already like crews because by that time it was an SE gang,
Okay.
Street Entertainment. Around that time that Benny and Conway was already making music during around my city. Like because they do have mixtapes during like the late 2000s, and he was telling me about them like early because after what happened with one of the guys that who was like I mentioned before that was in the group, and then one passed away, and I was totally glued. I was totally out of the Buffalo music scene, and then when he was telling me about them, and then also all the artists that was out active at the time, and then he was around that circle, and then when I met him, he was already out of the scene. We wasn't in a group yet, but we were starting making like the demos. Me,
Ah,
I would just.
that's
But the thing
awesome.
is that I had to find a beat, and he would just start rapping like on the phone, and we would just make it like a demo wise. And then once I got myself together, and then I started learning how to make beats like years later. And then once I got started to get serious with my career, he started coming back in town, and then that's how we officially formed the group. And then it's played by Aces, and then it was on for a while, and then we started doing the same thing, and then we tried to like do the studio album, but then at the time he was going through some personal problems, and then he couldn't like do fast like I could. And then also for marketing wise, that how we're gonna push ourselves. So he noticed that like he wanted to get himself together. So I kept it going. And then another group I was in, Green Giant.
Yeah, with Frigid Giant, man, you guys put out some nice music too.
Yeah, that put together when while I was still working on my other group, and then also I was doing this first album, the research,
Okay.
and
Oh, that's cool.
I met Kev when I was like still a year in this after the scene, because Frigid is it's like a couple years older than me, and then he had his experience before, and then as a solo artist, when I met him, and he went out of the music scene, and that's how it's the same thing with my other partner that he was already out of the music scene too. Me and Kev, we was talking about doing music too. Yeah, the first song we recorded was the Big Lemoski. That was the first song that after the intro that kind of sets off the album and the origin of the group. And then we started coming up with the idea to put together the first album. And then we started that the coldest was scratched by the late great DJ Ruckus and for River Radio, 716. And then we had to find a studio home. Like I did mention that when we got DJ Shay, he used to have a studio. And then we recorded the first album at his studio.
Ah, nice. He's a graphic artist too, and produces
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
right? He's quite talented as well.
So after we did the follow up, but this was during the
Okay.
pandemic, and then we didn't get a chance to push it. And then in between, he got so deep in it, like the comics, and then the graphics, and then
Yeah.
illustrating, and then that was his most passion to this day.
Okay.
Because we haven't been got that much into the group that we was, even though this year is about to be 5 years since the last album.
Yeah. Okay.
Because the Green Giant 2 came out around this month. The last part he put out was that Giant. Because he was in this other crew called Mindset. So he was in the other crew. And then the Bar Association thing is that around the same time I met Genesis.
Okay.
Yeah, so Genesis is like it's a rapper, he's a singer and
Right.
songwriter. So I met Jen. Well, he knew who I was early because I had a friend of mine who she was working in the mall.
Okay.
And I had a job at that time. And then during my times, me going to the mall, and then plus, because it used to be a flea market, like a couple of minutes from where the area is at. And then now we've been dealing with now is Walmart. But then, during those times, I used to spend a lot of time in the mall to go
Yeah,
see
sure.
her. And then Genesis used to work at the one of them. There used to be a gadget store, and
Okay.
he used to see me walking around, and then me, I don't think we was kind of like poaching yet. But then fast forward like the years later when I got into the scene, he still see me around, and then he got so addicted to one of my production, it be like one of the first legitimate producer.
Mm.
Frigid and Genesis, they was already clicked
Okay.
already. They didn't use it before, but when I came in the picture, that's how because I met them around the same time. Because originally it was just pushing them two.
Okay.
During my success, because we put out the first album, the Green Giant album, and then
Yeah.
around the time I was already working my second album, and then Green Giant 2 was in the motion, and then me and Genesis was doing the proper video games. And then that was around that time that Westside Gunn was starting to take off. That
Yeah.
was and then my second album was about to come out, and then my original plan was I was going to push them two, and then because I had 2-3 albums I was pushing at the time, and then COVID just started to push off, and so that kind of delayed everything. And then I was still pushing those 2 artists, and then I have other artists that I was associated. I had this girl named Sauce the Artist. She's a young talented singer that I had a really good chemistry with, and I had this guy named Mizart. He was like a talented guy, and also he's a chef too. Then I had this tattoo artist and also MC named Mike Cassell. He been in the scene for a long time, and then we got so close. And then I had this girl, her name is Queen Steph or Queen McCall, or it's like you said, mentioned the name changing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't even my other partner too. They have a name changing too. So Queen McCall, she's a talented female MC.
Sure.
And I had Rubik's Cube, and I had Rubik's Cube he's a DJ, a producer. So the Bar Association is like a collective
Yeah.
that I was trying to put together.
Super talented people, man. Yeah.
But I put together because a lot of my favorite producers, I mean later favorite artists or groups that they came from like collectives.
Yeah,
So I kind
the
of
crew concept when we were growing up, Wu Tang, Boot Camp Click. It was just fun to do music with a group. I thought Um,
Yeah, and also native tongues.
yeah,
Native tongue. Yeah, native tongues.
yeah,
So
Native
that's why.
Cubs, Tribe
Yeah,
Called Quest. Yeah, just crews were
that
fun.
yeah. That's what I was kind of like yeah. That's what I was going for. And then
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, that's what I was going for by this time. And then I
yeah,
mean, cause those people I mentioned that they had their own success when
yeah.
I came around. But the crew thing didn't officially until like 2020.
Okay.
It was like it was sort of once I got my foot in the door, and then I started have my. It was more like unique because we're all individuals, and then we still haven't got like an official group a crew thing yet. I'm still working on it and still making this happen. Even though that because I'm one of the most establishment guy that out of the crew, and then Genesis trying to like a follow along, and then because if you listen. The thing with him, he was going through some health problems for the last couple of years. The last project we put out was part of the '90s because we worked on that like during the pandemic. During it, he was like still battling what he was dealing, and also it was a shooting in my city, and also the snowstorm. This is
Okay.
2022, by the
A
way.
lot of stuff going on. Yeah.
And then we finally put it out like a year later. That was the most like conceptual project of that. So Bar Association is definitely like is a great movement.
Yeah. Oh man, that's exciting. Oh yeah, I love those like crew stories and just it's a super friends of talented people, and then you get a different sound when you combine yourselves with other people with mutual interest and just love to do music. So that's fun, man. I love that you were part of group too because it brings out a different sound, right? And you
Right.
got a very diverse catalog, man. I mean, just a lot of dope music. And so I'm excited that later on this month you got Check the Resume 5 getting ready to drop. I'm sure you're probably excited and ready for that thing to go. But
Well,
oh yeah, okay, what's up?
check the resume. It's like a something to hold over while I'm in the middle of my new project.
Yeah.
So check the resume is like a series of beats that previously was heard from other production or even my solo work. Because initially I was going to put all the beats and the instrumental version on one project, but it was too complicated to get the real sound. So I kind of mix all together from my older stuff to the recent stuff. I'm doing like serious, like I'm like the four is already out and down to five.
That's right. So it's like, are they unused beats right now that you really enjoyed?
They all use.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's all used because by that time like Knife Wonder had the Xeon because he had some unheard and some used one that was used, and even Alchemist did the rapper Best Friend.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
he had a compilation of used ones, so I kind of put my own twist to it.
I see. Yeah, I like that. And it's like I interviewed somebody a couple weeks ago, good buddy DJ Kawan, and these beat tapes are kind of like your calling card too, right? Yeah, I like it, man. It's a demonstration of your skill set, and I love it. Just lays out all your work.
Right.
I have a question too. Is so let's say somebody uses your beat, for example, Westside Gunn, Planet Asia, all the folks, Mac Hami, all the folks that you worked with. And obviously they run that through the label and stuff. And what is like your access to that beat once somebody signed you uses that song? Are you able to, release it on side projects, or are you restricted to, hey, it's just part of that album now?
Well, like the songs. Well, the thing with West that is it's kind of like I never really had no of it because the thing is that he's an artist himself.
Yeah,
And plus he's got his own, and plus he got his, and plus plus he got his, and plus he's running his own thing. But and also I never really went through like plus nowadays that artists running their own, running their own labels or put out their own. I never really got because I never really went through those days that
okay.
someone hit me up about that. Even though that there will be some kind of like people gonna let me email or DM me to some things I had to go through like that I had to sign over or something that I did, but I don't want to get further to. I don't want to get further to that.
Yeah, I know. And again, as I was going through your catalog, I just picked some of my favorites too. I really enjoyed the Royal Flush EP that you did with your boy Twan. That was fun too, man. Just some great songs on there. High stakes. I think Ice and Ink was my favorite, but the beats that you guys ended up using for that joint was really cool. Yeah, Royal Flush. He's from Buffalo too. I mean, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Twan is from Buffalo too.
Yep.
Yeah, so good songs, and then I enjoyed the Blue and Green song that you did with Genesis, and then Blue. How did that happen? How did you connect with Blue for that track? That was a great record.
So Blue Green is the lead single for this new album I'm working on,
Yep, press play,
called
right?
We Want, Press Play, Fast Forward, to side B. So
Yep.
so about a couple months back, I dropped the side A,
Okay.
and then and I'm working on the side, because this is a double album.
Oh wow.
So yeah, it's a double album, so that's why it's side A, side B.
Yeah.
So the Blue, I've been trying to get Blue to do a song for like a couple years back while I was working on the Classical Gifted.
Okay.
My budget at the time, it wasn't really that strong enough, and I swore I haven't done anything with West yet.
Okay.
So I just like, I'll get with him, wherever this time is. So fast forward, like he was doing a sale, and I reached out to the Blue, and then
Yeah,
and
made
like,
it happen.
yeah, I made this happen, and
Yeah.
then I told Genesis, and then like, yo, and he want in, and then he made it a record, and then for for first, I didn't see the Blue verse that came in, and then all of a sudden, like, my email, it came in with the folder the whole time. I've been deleting my emails mostly every day to make room.
Bro.
Yeah, yeah, because I delete my emails every day, and then I was this close to about the delete. Good thing I checked it, and then I sent it, and then like, this might be the lead song for the new album. So I'm kind of excited about
Oh, dude.
the side B project I'm putting together.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, that was a great song. Genesis killed it in Blue, just like put the whipped cream on that thing. So yeah, great projects too. Another one of my favorites too was the album you did with Teak Hall. Blood on My Hands was really good. Like his style's different, but his voice reminds me of Andre 3000 a little bit. But he's sick, different in his own right, and super sick. Is he another Buffalo MC? Y'all got a good stable of
He well,
MCs out there.
he's basic in Arizona.
Oh, is he? Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
he's based in Arizona. I met Teak when about like almost 2 years ago, when Westside Gunn had the first Hills Have Eyes, when he was just getting started with the float rope thing, with the first Hills Have Eyes event.
Okay.
It was held by on the Philly, and then it was first held by the Philly, and I was at this pop up joint with Alchemist and Derringer, and that's when me and then T Hall kind of like knows who I am, and then we started met, and then we started building, and also he's on the side A.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, he's on the side A album, and then while I was making the side A, he came with the idea to do the whole EP.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah, I really enjoyed it, man. I mean, the lead, or at least the single that is titled after the album, "Blood on My Hands." That was really cool. I really like that bell sample that you used in there, and Major Pain, Captain Insano. Oh man, great projects. And what I really appreciate about your style is it's very layered too, right? I know you use the MPC. I see it all the time on your Instagram, making beats, and there's a lot of detail on your beats. How long does it, take you to knock these like complex beats out? I'm sure it just varies on how you're feeling, but like on average, like how long does it take you to say, "Hey, this is a good body. I'm good."
It took me about like a couple of minutes or
Yeah.
to make this one track or multiple. Like, so it took about like an hour or two. It depends on how to get the sample right. I had to get the drums right. I had to get the whole
Yeah.
instrumental right. And plus, I know how the beat comes on. I know how to like bridge starts. I know how the song stops, and then I know how the structure depends what the artist comes in or comes out, or the
Yeah.
bridge or something like that. And then also, once I finish the beat, I convert everything to the stems and move it and delete it, and then make room for the new files.
Just great texture to the beats, and I really enjoy it. I love how you post the videos too of you just showcasing the beat too as well. Super fun. Yeah, again, just the catalog's great. We talked about it a little bit earlier. The Green Giant album that you put out, number two was really dope from 21. There was a song on there, The Fire. I mean, the beats, I know you can tell it's MPC made and just amazing, amazingly layered. Reminds me of early Native Tongues, Tribe Called Quest type music. And also, you
Uh,
got a song on there, Shay Douglas, that had Esoteric and Rubik's Cube. That was cool. I'm a big fan of Esoteric's work too.
that was all Frigid playing. On the second album, so the difference, let me tell you what the difference of the first album and the second album.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So,
Okay.
the first album, and this is actually the first time I ever talked that I spoke about this on any platform. So, when I did the first album, we did the first album at DJ Shay studio.
Okay.
And then this is at the time that Benny just joined Griselda, and this is this is during the height of it, and then BSF wasn't even the big thing yet. So
Mm,
I was kind of around I was A&R the whole first album, and then I was there for the mixing, I was there for the recording, I was there for the master, and then Frigid took us somewhere to get the whole album mastered. I had a really good experience working on the first album, and then even though that was the only thing I had with Shay.
okay. All
Yeah,
right.
that was the only thing I had with Shay. And then the second album is that I didn't do too much on as far as being in the studio.
Okay.
That was when I was more focused on my second album,
Sure.
and then my career was starting to take off with the Broadway Joe's song, and also he started A&R
Oh, for who? Yeah.
for the second album, and
Okay.
that was when the features that he had was just that he put together, and this is around the time that he got into drum work.
Okay.
Yeah, that was around that 2020. That was around that because him and Frigid had been started been working together, and then Alex and Nani, and then Teapot, and then and Esoteric was and Shane Douglas was the last record that
Yeah. Okay, cool. Cool track.
was added on it, and then that was like a huge highlight
Yeah.
on that the album.
Yeah, I love his delivery, man. He just really brings it. But yeah, man. Oh, dude, your catalog is amazing. Very, very full of amazing songs. And again, you get that laundry list of songs with Westside Gunn. Just really great, man. And it's awesome to see the diversity in your music style too, as well. And man, I just love also too that you had mentioned in a previous little snippet video that you got some plan, or at least you have a goal to try to put some of your projects on cassette. I know we come from a time where having physical product is super important, that golden age time.
Now we're jumping to the collecting because
Uh,
physical media has been part of my journey mostly all my life. But because nowadays that streaming is good, but it's also they don't want their stuff put on their platform. And one moment is in there, and the next moment they deleted the stuff off the platform. But then and also that that's why that I push my albums as CDs, and then and the next thing is I want to do is I want to do cassettes. That was actually my goal, is that I want to do the cassettes. Even though, and I get asked all the time about vinyl.
yeah.
I get asked all the time about vinyl, but that's gonna be a little bit a lot of while
Yeah.
because my projects is so lengthy, and also
Woo. Yeah, the
I
double
got
whack.
yeah, I had to do double wax, and that's why that a lot of my later projects I kind of narrowed down to 20 to 13,
Okay.
14 songs.
Just in
Uh,
case.
uh, yeah, 14 songs. Yeah, I kind of narrowed down to because when I did the Downtown Raphael, that was my first album that I put out. I just had 12, 13 songs, and then it was started from there.
Yeah.
Because of my
Smart,
first
man.
2, 3, I had 20 songs, and then with Theology, I had 18. I was kind of narrow. I was slowly starting to narrow down, and then once down to Raphael to the side A, I just started put 12, trying to keep it a little bit minimal that I could. And also, what I do is that now is that once I have the physical media, like when I did the CDs for the side A, I put the QR code on the back of the cover that people can listen to the album and also support it at the same time.
Sure.
So it's listen to albums and support at the same time because even though they make a little excuses about like not having no CD players or nothing like that, but you know you can still collecting and stuff, and, you know, because you know you can still collecting, but then also you can have access to for where you can hear the album or where search it, and then that's how I put this whole thing to that, and then also and the thing is that so I collect like like tapes and CDs and
Yeah.
cassettes. It also is more like my backup. It's just the case, like could I use the songs that they played? Could I DJ too? Could I use the songs that it depends what records I want to play, and I just been on my playlist. And the thing with that I don't play my tapes, I don't play my CDs, I just let it collect.
Yeah.
And that's what I and then so I'm definitely making that goal is making the cassettes joints
Yeah, that'll be
as
fun.
yeah, so I'm definitely making this happen this year.
Yeah, no, that's great, man. And yeah, you at least we talked about it earlier, and even before the interview, just your hobby of collecting music and movies, and it's just fun, man. I really appreciate the physical product. It tells a story. You see the cover
And
art. Yeah.
and also video games too.
Yeah. Oh, even video games too. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got the stuff from back in the day too, like the old school Nintendo, Sega Genesis, just to keep it, or is it certain systems that you favor over the others?
Well, those that you mentioned, yes, and then also the early PlayStation.
Okay.
Even though the franchise is now 30 years, but I got into it until like 96, which is now we're 26 now.
Yeah.
And my ex brother-in-law was bringing a PlayStation to my house at the time
Okay.
and hook into it. And then I tried to like get the system up, but at the time this is when like you had to find them in store.
Okay.
Then we sold out, and then I didn't get to put my first PlayStation until like a year later on Christmas,
Gotcha.
and that's been kind of like my favorite since then. And then gaming has been part of my radar since I was a kid. And then like once I kind of like what kind of attracted to me is the soundtrack. And
Okay.
then what attracted to me is the soundtrack. And then when I got started learning how to make beats, and like that's what I was flipping. I used to flip the soundtracks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You
I
you
used to
talking about
flip the
like
stuff.
remix it or?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I used to
okay.
flip. I
That's
used to flip
awesome.
the sound. Yeah, this is when I was starting learning how to produce, and I used to flip the soundtracks, and then and make my own twist to it. And then I kind of made the whole video game trend into my music, and then also my whole video game culture to my music and even my style.
Yeah.
As the years goes on, and that's why you see me with the gaming atmosphere and all the whole nine, because by that time like Wu Tang with the with the karate, and then the Griselda with the wrestling. With me, I want this like to be like a video game pop culture, and then plus while I was doing Green Giant, Richard kind of put me on as an art culture because I used to spend every year I'll always go to the comic convention.
Yeah. Okay.
I always go to the comic convention in my city.
All right.
Yeah, I go to this comic convention every year, and then like to see the pop culture people, and then I see people dressing up as cosplay, and then I always meet up with a lot of vendors, and I collect items that from different vendors, and also build with them too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, yeah, that makes for like good collaborations and yeah, it just makes it so much fun. It has a theme and it's something that you enjoy too as well. And
Right.
you mentioned too that you're a big toy collector. I see the Sonic the Hedgehog in the back. And yeah, what do you particularly collect? What are you into?
Oh man, I mostly like you mentioned toys, like
Yeah,
I've been on it since I was a kid. Like
sure. Oh, you
I
probably
mean,
got a crazy collection.
going to yard sale, and I always find those toys like for like $1 or 50 cent
Yeah.
or even $3 or four. It depends. So this is before I kind of got it finding something. I did mention before with the super flea, the flea market.
Oh, those are
I
fun.
I go there every weekend, and I find more things. And most of the things that I got in my collection, like games and music and this, I still got it from them to this day.
Yeah, man. I hold on to a bunch of stuff too, and I'm a big guy that goes to Goodwill and thrift shops. I love Just yeah, you never know
I'm
what you're
trying to
gonna
like
find, man. Yeah.
I'm trying to like and also I'm currently in a process like trying to find a home for my collection
Yeah.
because because as of right now I'm kind of as of right now everything is just kind of like
Mine
boxed
is.
in because
Yeah.
it's boxed in at this moment because I just
Ah,
recently got some unstable ways about the households and I'm kind of processed to get and also make room for my wall so I can collect my wall pictures and then also my autograph CD of Westside Gunn the Hills 2.
that's awesome.
And back of that, I just got the vinyl. I came in the mail, and it's hanging up my wall right now.
Yeah, that's great, man. Yeah. Yeah, collecting's fun, man. I definitely am a big collector too. And if you could only see my room right now, it's just got stuff all over the place. Well, hey, it's been an honor just to talk to you about, your early beginnings and how you got to where you're at today. I love your music. Just again, the texture, the layer, and just the grittiness, but still takes me back to the golden age. But I just love that gritty sound, man, and I'm a big fan of your music, and so thank you for your time. I love to end these interviews with just some fun questions. So, if you're ready, I'll kick them off.
Oh, come on, let's get to it.
All right. Hey, first non-rap album that you bought.
Man, first non album I bought. uh, um, I think I can't remember the first non album, but it's got to be between like I can't remember what we'll call because I think that either got to be some like an R&B or it's a pop because that was around the time the Backstreet Boys was jumping.
Sure.
I was into it, but I got into through my school at the
Yeah.
time.
Okay.
Because we was listening to radio and then this is before like MP3s and then I got hooked to it and then that was like kind of like my early non-rap moments.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, that's awesome. All right. Hey, as a movie collector, which assume you're probably a movie buff too, I love comedy movies. What's your favorite comedy movie of all time?
Oh man, it's got to be anything that's Martin Lawrence or
Yeah.
sometimes Murphy or the Wayans.
All
Uh,
classics. You can't go wrong with
yeah,
them.
kind of get put me in the mood. Like I like comedies, and then I'm not that much of the movies that are based off the video games. I'm kind of a little skeptical about the upcoming films that are based on the games.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Those good too. Yeah.
I mean, it was good, but then the expectation is a little bit low. Yeah, the expectation get a little bit low because like even though they doing a new Street Fighter movie, and then I got to see that how that can they top off like it was 30 years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
No, yeah, the
and
Van
then
Damme one. Yeah, we'll
yeah,
see.
and then
Or the
can they
Mortal
top that
Kombat
one?
flick.
And then the mall come back too. Because even though the sequel was like hell, but then I'm talking about Annihilation as we speak. And then they don't know what the difference is with Annihilation or the second one.
Yeah.
There's two Mortal Kombat 2 films.
Yeah.
And like hopefully they're gonna be top it off. So I'm careful to see what. So I had like some favorites. Is like the comedy is where the fun
Yeah, I love it. I'm a
is.
big all those guys you mentioned, the Wayans brothers, Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence. I love them all geniuses. Okay, who you choosing between Optimus Prime or Megatron?
Optimus Prime.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I got this like bootleg collection of Optimus Prime toys. It's living in Asia, so I got all these like crazy looking Optimus Primes. It's pretty funny. So
Right.
yes, I'm with you. All right, if you are a true video game guy, indeed, let's see what you're choosing between Miss Pac-Man or Tetris and why.
Tetris.
Oh, okay, okay. I'm a Miss Pac-Man guy, but
Yeah. I'm a Tetris guy because, like, it kind of like so I love puzzle games.
gotcha. That makes sense then.
Yeah, I
That's
love puzzle
what it
games. Like,
is indeed.
besides like platforming games and fighting games and sometimes sports, puzzle games is kind of ease up my. It's kind of like more like my meditating. It's more like my meditating. Kind of like I like textures and I like a lot of other puzzle games and even I played on my on my phone too.
All right. No, that's good. Tetris is a good one, though. I do like that. All right. Hey, my final question for you. If you could have dinner with anyone dead or alive, Who would it be?
Man, that's my dinner dinner alive had to be because my dinner had to be dinner alive had to be dinner alive had to be Jay Dilla
Oh man, that's a great one. That's
because
a great one.
me because I kind of like because because we can't talk about Jay Dilla without mentioning Q-Tip because of the
Yeah,
he because like him because someone put him on to Dilla
yeah,
and then around like the middle of the Trop era that's when he came along and that's how Dilla kind of got his name
yeah,
from him and then like and that's how like this beats just kind of like took me to took it to like the next level and then even though it's been 20 years this is like 20 years since they've been gone and his legacy's been alive and then I kind of like I always want to like have a little conversation about like how did you structure it and
yeah.
what and then like what things you had to you got coming up and then how did you get how did you get the how you get to the situation that you in and then do you ever feel comfortable all the type of like gems that I kind of want to
Just a little nuggets
that
of brilliance by Jay Dilla. Yeah,
right.
yeah. And especially more so you as a producer too, who probably, was inspired big time by him. So yeah, he's truly a legend.
And then also things that he left behind that
Oh,
he never got a chance to
dang.
get more Bolivico and then Bolivico and
Yeah,
then I knew about like Bolivico and then I kind of and then
yeah.
so it was so I definitely want to have those those one-on-one conversation.
Yeah, that'd be a great one for sure. Yeah, great answer. I appreciate that one. Well, with that, thank you again. I appreciate your time on a Friday evening, man. Thank you for making time with me. Just, truly had a good time. I appreciate you. With that, I would love to turn over to you for one last final time before we get this thing out on just closing us out. Any final words, CG?
Yo, we want press play fast forward. It's coming real soon. Check out the resume. Fob is dropping like January 27.
Yeah.
And I got a show coming up in Buffalo, the Artist Soul, with Genesis and a lot of other artists. Ironwork tickets is in the bio right now, and it's on February 1st. I'm also working on getting some shows in different cities. Make sure to check me out. And then, of course, I got some more music coming up soon, especially with Westside Gunn with the Fly Guy, Awesome God 3
Yeah.
and Rick High place 3 and all the other stuff is going to be on the way. Make sure you follow me on allmylinks.com slash Mr. Green 520 that you can contact me. All my social, everything is on there, and make sure you stay tuned for the rest of the year.
Yes, sir. Well said, my brother. Hey, thanks again. I look forward to getting this out. Enjoy your weekend.
Salute.